This is a how-to video for how to do the welding drawings for this first welding assignment. So we are laying down 10 lines on a 5 or 4 by 6 inch piece of metal. And so the welding symbol that we are doing for this first welding drawing looks like this. And we have it on arrow side and the other side, meaning the back side of this piece of metal that you guys are welding on. And this is to scale. I do not have the corners rounded like the piece of metal that we're using has. If you'd like to add that and go the extra mile, go ahead. I'd recommend finding something that is round and using that to trace to get that. We also need to put a note in with this welding symbol that there are 10 5-inch long welds, and in the bottom corner we're going to write out our name. So I have Carl Raby, period 1, September 4th, 2005, and I wrote these all on the lines. I'm using the blocks to guide my writing to make this nice and neat. For my arrows, I am drawing a line that is, I get to double check my measurement here so I don't tell you the wrong thing. It is 1.5 inches long line, so from here to here it is 1.5 inches. Most of the graph paper that you're probably going to have available to you is going to have each block at 1/4 inch, so you can use that to work with. I have a 45-degree angle, so this is 45, so you can use one of these triangles that are in the toolbox. Okay, it is a 90-degree angle, and then it has two 45-degree angles to help you out. I also have over there, you don't need it for this assignment, but here's a 90, 30, 60 triangle. So another strategy, instead of using those triangles that I just shown you, is you can use a ruler. One of these small blue ones is really nice. Had to grab one from behind me. Make sure that it's nice and straight, and please be careful to keep the ruler straight. You're going to line up on the corner of a box and the other corner of a box, or all the way across, lots of different corners, and that's how you can get 45-degree angle also. This piece of metal that I've drawn here is at a 45-degree angle. I want you guys to replicate that. We're going to work up our abilities and our skills with sketching things, so that's what we're working towards. So I started down here at the very bottom. What I should have done was shifted it a little bit this direction, because it is kind of heavy on this side. However, it seems like I got it centered just enough for me to be able to put this welding symbol in. I could move it around if I needed to. So I started off down here at this corner of this box, and then I lined up my ruler with all of the boxes, corners of the boxes, and I measured it out 4 inches, which is what the piece of metal actually is. So this line starts at that corner of that box and it goes all the way to 4 inches, all lining up with the corners. And then I came this direction. This ruler is 6 inches, so I lined up the 6 here. I could flip it around and do it the other way, that would work fine. Lined it up with all the corners of the boxes and went all the way out 6. And then I proceeded to connect them. For the end pieces, it might not line up like right here. Actually, it does line up with the boxes. It lines up with the boxes, so that worked out very nice with this size of metal. For all of these lines, what I ended up doing was I just kind of guessed where I wanted my 5 lines to go to space equally. I didn't measure this out. You can tell there's a big gap here. I didn't space it perfectly. That's totally fine. I just kind of came along and I put a little dot where I thought spaced these welds out, and then I put a guideline, a straight line here, and a straight line on that side of it, and then I just shaded it in to get my weld. That's all I did. Make sure that you're lining up the boxes again, so that way it's going straight and you don't have a crooked drawn weld. Coming back up here to the symbol is the last thing that I did. I drew this arrow in a particular way, and I want you guys to do this also. I started at the corner of the box, went to the other corner and the other corner, and I used my straight edge and then I filled it in. I did use a straight edge here. You need to use a straight edge. These need to be nice, clean, and crisp lines. You will need to redo this or you're not going to get points if you do not have nice, crisp lines for all of these edges and the straight lines. This shading the welds, that's a different story, but the edges of my welds are clean and crisp. They were drawn with the straight edge. Again, this symbol right here, it's a surfacing symbol is what it is, and that's basically what we're doing by just welding straight lines. We're not doing weaves or anything with it. If you did, that's fine, but these really just needed to be nice straight lines that you welded. So this symbol right here, kind of like a very curvy W, is the surfacing symbol. And when the symbol is on the bottom of the line, that means that where the arrow is pointed, which is this side of this piece of metal, that's what this symbol is referring to. So we are surfacing or welding on this side of the metal. When there's a symbol on the top of this welding symbol line, that means that on the other side, so right now the side that we can't see, so if we flip this piece of metal over, that would be what it's referring to, not the side that we can see. So the other side, so the top of the line is other side, also gets surfacing. So in this note here, again, it is corner to corner with the straight edge, corner to corner, and it is identifying for us that there are 10 of these lines 5 inches long. And I could make a better note here now that I look at it, and it should say 5 5-inch long welds on each side. That would clearly identify everything that's going on. And then again, I'm using the grid to make all of my text down here in this bottom corner look nice. This will be turned in with your weld assignment.